Just minutes ago, Donald Trump and Hillary Clinton left the stage after what was the most watched episode of Monday Night Raw. Now, in the interest of dramatic flair, we have also asked the audience to remain silent the entire evening and not to laugh or applaud unless they hear like a super funny joke. But on the real though, people, this is it. We made it. The first debate. We made it. The waiting is finally over. This was after a year of subtweeting each other on the campaign trail. Finally, Hillary Clinton and Donald Trump went head to head. And we did not have to wait long for the first lie.
Donald, it's good to be with you.
Ah, she's crooked. She's so crooked. The lies, Hillary. Even Melania was in the audience like, it's never good to be with him. Don't lie. Small hands, small hands. You could tell both candidates prepared so much for this debate. And even before the debate, I mean, Hillary and Trump, they try to psych each other out. Last week, Hillary invited Mark Cuban to sit in the front row, because Trump might get thrown off by seeing a real billionaire. But then Trump was like, okay, if that's how you're gonna play, well, maybe I'll invite one of your husband's mistresses. That's some serious mind game, people. I thought for sure Hillary was just gonna be like, all right, well, let's do this then. I'm gonna invite a mariachi band to sit in the front row. And then Trump was gonna be like, well, I'll invite a bag of cough drops. And then Trump would realize that Bill Clinton is sitting between Ivanka and Melania and be like, hey, Hillary, that's too far. You can't put Bill between the two women I love. And Hillary would be like, wait, I thought that was your idea. And Bill would be like, no, that was my idea. Now, after the Matt Lauer incident, the last thing the debate commission wanted was to be seen as being biased against either side. And so they caved to both candidates' demands. They gave Hillary a shorter podium, and they let Donald Trump stop and frisk Lester Holt. But this night, ladies and gentlemen, was full of fire. In fact, most of the night looked like this.
You haven't done it in 30 years or 26 years.
Well,
any number you
I've
want to
been
do.
a senator,
You
Donald,
haven't done it.
And
you haven't
I
done
have
it.
been a
And
Secretary of State.
So is it President Obama's fault? Is it President Obama's fault?
Even announced.
But you have no plan.
Oh, I do.
Secretary,
in fact,
you
I
have no
written
plan.
A book about it.
You
know
said it's
what?
the finest deal you've ever seen.
No.
And then you heard what I said about it, and all of a sudden you were against it.
Well, Donald, I know you live in your own reality.
Ooh. Welcome to the real-life version of Twitter, people. You know that at that point, Lester Holt wasn't even moderating anymore. He was just eating popcorn with everyone else. Like, ho, 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 ho. Now, before the debate started, everyone had their own thoughts on how this night would go, right? Was Trump going to be presidential? Would Hillary cough and destroy the world? Would Matt Lauer show up and ask for a second chance? So many questions we had. I will say this, though. I could not have been more impressed with Lester Holt tonight because he asked all the right questions, including how to keep America safe.
Just go to her website. She tells you how to fight ISIS on her website. I don't think General Douglas MacArthur would like that too much.
The next segment, we're continuing
Well,
the
at
subject
least
of...
I have a plan to fight
achieving
ISIS.
No, you're telling the enemy everything you want to do.
No, we're not.
See, you're telling the enemy everything you want to do. No wonder you've been fighting. No wonder you've been fighting ISIS your entire adult life.
What? Her entire adult life? ISIS has been around since 2004, so that would make Hillary 26 years old? And she can't be 26 because Donald Trump wasn't hitting on her. I don't understand. Well, this was, seriously, at some point, Donald Trump was out of control. He was hitting Hillary for the economy, ISIS, her emails, taxes, and he wanted to hit her for even more.
I have a feeling that by the end of this evening, I'm going to be blamed for everything that's ever happened.
Why not?
Oh, yeah, why not? I mean, Hillary even impregnated Trump's mother, so Trump is actually her fault. Damn you, Hillary! Oh, and by the way, don't you think "why not" is the perfect Trump campaign slogan? Donald Trump, why not, folks? Why not? Why not? Take a chance. Why not? Why not? Because we'll die, that's why not. That one line, though, fool, that one line summed it all up for me. This whole entire evening, Trump's evening wasn't just about Hillary. This debate was about Donald Trump debating the establishment. He was blaming Hillary for everything. Everything Obama did, even everything Bush did. You know, by the end of the night, I was like, you're right, she should have never shot Alexander Hamilton, yeah! And I felt so bad for Lester Holt here. He tried so hard to ask Trump about releasing his tax returns, for instance. But Trump wouldn't let him do anything.
Mr. Trump, we're talking about the burden that Americans have to pay, yet you have not released your tax returns. And the reason nominees have released their returns for decades is that voters will know if their potential president owes money to, who he owes it to, and any business conflicts.
I will release them as soon as the audit. Look, I've been under audit almost for 15 years. I get audited almost every year. And in a way, I should be complaining. I'm not even complaining. I don't mind it.
But you just complained! I should be complaining, but I'm not complaining. Let me tell you how bad this is. I shouldn't be telling you about this, but I am telling you about this. I should be shouting at you right now, but I'm not Donald Trump! And the best part of this whole night was when halfway through, he just gave up making excuses about his taxes, and he switched. He became honest, and he became proud of it.
He doesn't want the American people, all of you watching tonight, to know that he's paid nothing in federal taxes, because the only years that anybody's ever seen were a couple of years when he had to turn them over to state authorities when he was trying to get a casino license, and they showed he didn't pay any federal income tax. So
that makes
if
me
he's
smart.
paid...
I'm sorry, what? Dude, taxes are a responsibility, not something to evade. You know, you're running to be the #1 citizen of a country. You shouldn't brag about ways you found ways to get around the rules. He's like, oh, that makes me smart. You see what I did there? Haha, screwed over the American people by not paying my fair share. Haha, vote for me. Yeah, vote for me. You see what I did there? I duped you all. You can't see me. I found a way around the rules. Yeah, you know who else found a way around the rules? OJ. No one likes him. I found this very financial loophole, very lucrative financial loophole called crime. Vote for me. Personally, to be honest, when this debate started, I thought Donald Trump wasn't doing a bad job. You know, he was throwing the right punches, he was saying the right things. But then the debate moved to foreign policy. And honestly, I didn't think this was I didn't think this would happen, but I was personally offended.
You know, it's one thing to have $20 trillion in debt, and our roads are good, and our bridges are good, and everything's in great shape. Our airports are like from a third world country.
Our airports are nicer than yours, Donald Trump. And don't you bring third world countries into this shit, you hear me? We're watching this debate right now. Everyone's sitting at home going, what is he talking about, huh? What is he talking? We've got nice airports, we've got wonderful countries, and on top of that, we have professional tanning salons. Asshole, you didn't land in a third world country. Don't involve us in your problems. So the debate moved on, right? Moved on to race relations in America. And it turns out, and this might have been my favorite part of the evening, it turns out the only way Donald Trump can truly relate to any issue in America is by whether or not he has a property in that place.
When I look at what's going on in Charlotte, a city I love, a city where I have investments, you don't have good community relations in Chicago. It's terrible. I have property there. It's terrible what's going on in Chicago.
Yeah, I love this. Donald Trump relates to America like he's playing a game of Monopoly. Yeah, I have that street. I know what it's like there. Yeah, he's my boy. He gets it, you know? Yeah. Some of my favorite dollar bills live in Charlotte. Yeah. Yeah. What if a black guy stands in front of my building and one of the bullets goes through him and hits my building? Oh. But look, Trump wasn't the only guy saying wrong things tonight. Don't get me wrong. He said most of the incorrect things, right? But Hillary said wrong things when she got put on the spot. Like, for instance, about the murder rates in New York.
Under the current mayor, crime has continued to drop, including murders. So there is...
You're wrong.
No, I'm not.
Murders are up.
Yeah.
All right, you check.
New York has done an excellent job.
Here's the thing. Hillary, you don't need to be fighting over specifics that Trump can prove that go opposite to what you're saying. You're missing the point. This is about stop and frisk. Shootings went up in New York for a few years after stop and frisk ended. All right? You don't need to defend it by lying. You see, this is one of the things I don't understand. These are the small lies that allow false equivalency to exist. You don't need to confuse shootings with murders to justify ending stop and frisk, because you realize you just achieved the impossible, Hillary, by lying there in a debate with Donald Trump. You gave him one thing where he was right. You might as well have said you think his hair looks good.
When you talk about healing, I think that I've developed very, very good relationships over the last little while with the African-American community. I think you can see that.
You see that there? That's a little thing I like to call truth Trump. Whenever you watch Trump from now on, watch him. Every now and again, Truth Trump comes out. He can't control it. He'll be like, I've developed relations with the African community over the past little while. It just slips out. It just slips out. Just slips out. Oh, the taxes, I cheat. Oh, I don't. Oh, that's brilliant. Yeah. Because before this, I did not mess with black people. That's honest Trump.
You know, I also noticed the very nasty commercials that you do on me in so many different ways, which I don't do on you. Maybe I'm trying to save the money.
Oh, you see that? Just slipping it in? Yes, I don't do commercials on you because I'm trying to save the money. Not because he's a good person. Yeah, that's what he should have said. I don't do negative commercials because I'm a good man. Because I'm trying to save the money. Truth Trump, shut up! I can't control it. I need to build a wall in my mind, folks. Listen to all the things he said. This is so insane.
The AFL-CIO the other day, behind the blue screen, I don't know who you were talking to, Secretary Clinton, but you were totally out of control. I said, there's a person with a temperament that's got a problem.
Secretary Clinton.
Woo, okay.
Look at Hillary. This is one thing I loved in this debate. You know, every other debate has been around something else. I mean, it hasn't been a presidential debate. There's been Hillary, there's been this, there's been that, there's been Trump, there's been bouncing, but this was Hillary's domain. You could see when she gets asked the questions, she's got a little shimmy there, you know? A little spark. She's like, woo, this is me. Is this words? Is that what we're doing now? I'm loving this. Words, 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 words. Give me all the words, 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 words. She was feeling it. Policy is her world. And I don't want to start any rumors, but there's a reason I think Trump didn't do well. I'm not sure, and I'm not trying to start rumors, but Trump was sniffing a lot in this debate. And someone needs to look into that.
Perhaps we'll be talking about that later. Hundreds of companies are doing this. Our country's in deep trouble. I want you to be very happy.
What was that about, Trump? But look, we didn't watch the debate just to make jokes about it. We wanted to do our part to keep the candidates honest. And tomorrow on the show, we're going to delve into it. I mean, it just happened now. It's still sinking in. So we did have senior campaign correspondent Roy Wood Jr. watching closely, ladies and gentlemen. Roy Wood Jr. joining us live. Roy, how did the two candidates do tonight?
Yeah, Trevor, I saw them two sneaky-ass mofos tonight. Oh, wait, this is loud. Can I say mofos?
Yeah, well, you just did, but probably not ass. Don't say ass.
Well, you just said it. Forget it. Look, now let's just kick it off with my man, Donald Trump. He came out saying, I want to make sure immigrants get deported. I was like, oh, hell no. But then Hillary started talking about being trustworthy. Trustworthy? Psh, girl, you tripping. I know you did not just start talking about being trustworthy. Oh, and then Trump started talking about how he was always against the Iraq war. He was cutting off Lester Holt. And I was like, Lester, let me come up to Hofstra and ride on this food for you, man. I got your back, bro.
Roy, what are you doing?
You asked me to black check the debate.
No, Roy. No, I asked you to fact-check the debate.
Oh.
Why would I ask you to black-check the debate?
I don't know why you would ask that. I thought it was pretty racist, to be honest. You know, I didn't want to say anything, though, because I was like, that dude hate black people. I better keep my mouth shut. You know, but hey, Trevor, real talk, though. Why do you think Trump was sniffing so much?
Oh, if you ask me, Roy, it's obvious. He was probably sniffing all the bullshit that he was saying on stage all night. Roy Wood Jr., everyone. Hey there, it's The Daily Show's Trevor Noah. We have our own YouTube channel now, so please do subscribe. I'll wait so you can... I won't even look, just because I know that's weird. Sort of like when a dog's doing its thing. You can just... Yeah, just subscribe. I won't look.